Hello, beautiful boss babes. Are you ready to chase life with Kelly? Well, I'm your host, Kelly Chase, and I'm so excited you're here. We are going to talk about all things love, dating, relationships, money mindset. We're going to dive deep into self-love, worthiness. I am going to bring on some incredibly empowering guests. We're going to have fun, we're going to laugh, and perhaps we're even going to shed some tears together. I am here to empower you, inspire you, and motivate you to create the life you crave. I am so excited for today's episode. Let's dive in. Hello, babes. Happy 2023. Holy bananas, a whole year has gone by once again. And you know what? I think for many of us, we probably are like, and crap, you know what? We had this like whole resolution list at the beginning of 2022 and maybe achieved a couple of things and a couple of things we did not. Or said we were going to, find the one or, settle into a relationship or start the job or, start a business, start a new business, start a new passion project or hobby, get our health, under control. And for many of us, we may have done that. We may have honored those things for, whether it was 2 days, 3 weeks, 5 months. And then at the end of the year, we were like, wait, what the hell? 12 months just went by. And yep, I am still where I was a year ago. Cleaned it up a little bit, but that's not it. And for many of us, we did find the one, maybe we got engaged, we fell in love this past year. Maybe we had a child. Maybe we traveled the world more. Maybe we, got our health on track and are feeling our best and better than ever. Maybe we did launch the podcast or launch the business, and start new passion projects. So with everything, whichever you identify with, I want you to know, I'm so fucking proud of you. And I'm just celebrating you. I'm celebrating you for both, okay? And I am going to say this, okay? So you guys haven't heard a solo episode since 2021, and I'm going to dive into that. I already just got a little choked up saying that because I'm reflecting back. Okay, I'm actually recording this on December 30th, 2022. So we have, 1.5 day left. It's about 3 p.m. Eastern time, December 30th, 2022. And we're about to backtrack. We're about to go down memory lane of 2022. And I want to share some things with you because it's been hard. 2022 has been a very difficult year. I think 2021 was kind of difficult too. But I want to preface that. I'm saying this and thoughts are coming into my head. And so I want to share this with you. There's a thing that I say sometimes, and I think that this has just been over the last couple of years since really understanding how the mind works. And as you all know, I am a self-love coach, a mindset coach, whatever you want to call me, a health coach, life coach. I've been doing that line of work for a very long time. Started with health coaching back in 2013, and did it. And where my work got deeper was just in these last 4 years, though. So the first, 2013, I've almost been doing it for 10 years. So the first 5 to 6 years was, I want to use the terminology like throwing spaghetti against a wall, hoping that it would stick. Because that's what it felt like until I hired and invested in my first coach to support me in my business, and help me with everything. I really don't feel like I was running that beautiful of a business because it didn't feel as good as I thought being an entrepreneur would feel, if that makes any sense. And honestly, I hope that this entire podcast episode lands, and I want to hear from you if it does. Beyond, subscribing, downloading the episode, sharing the episode, rating, reviewing, please leave a review for my podcast if you've been listening, whether it's the first time you're listening today or, you've been listening to my entire podcast since it was born back in 2021. Yeah, 2021 is when it was born, January 11th. You know, what I want to say right now, though, the thought that just came in is like, I say this sometimes, again, because of the work that I've been doing over the last 4 years, and I understand how things work. I understand how our mindset, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind work, and truly what self-love is and all of this healing work. And it's having radical awareness about your thoughts and knowing that those thoughts actually create our feelings, and those feelings is what is actually creating our actions, and those actions create our results. So if we know that, maybe you don't know that, I'm going to break it down a little bit further for you. Thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions, actions create results. So essentially your thoughts are creating your results. So if you look at your current situation right now, what your present day life, and you don't love, like really love your life, whether that's, you know, you have hardships in relationships, you have hardships in career or business, your health, financially, home environment, whatever that looks like for you. It is your thoughts that are creating that. And here's the scoop. What I was going to say is that when I was saying that, like, you know, that 2022 was really hard, the reason 2022 was really hard was because my thoughts were creating feelings that were creating actions or non-actions that were creating the results that I didn't love. So life is not hard. We just consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously choose thoughts that make life hard. Sure, there are decisions that we have to make that, you know, will create pain. It will create hurt. And there have been a lot of that for me this year. And I'm going to dive into a little bit of that in respect, but, you know, creating respect still for others that may be involved. But we essentially can create a more beautiful, peaceful life if we just choose. If we just choose a different thought. If we just choose a faith-based thought versus a fear-based thought. So much can fucking change for us. So much can change for us. And so as I go into 2023, that is my intention, is to choose me. Like everything that fucking lights up my soul is what I want to do. I'm going to try and not cuss as much either. But I can't sometimes. But that's what I really want to do. My intention is to just choose me more. There's a lot of people out there that be like, well, that's freaking selfish. It's not. Just like it's cliche to say, and I know everyone uses this analogy, but like you put your oxygen mask on first and then you help others. You got to save yourself so that you can save others. So if I'm not saved because my mind is going crazy because I'm people pleasing Tom, Dick, and Harry, and I'm, you know, looking for external validation with Susan, Heather, and Sally, what am I doing for myself? I'm not saving anybody because I can't even fucking save myself. Okay, so it's time to choose us. It's time to choose you. So I hope that everyone can get on this intention train with me and choose ourselves and make and choose decisions that are aligned with who we want to become, who we are becoming. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are becoming, if you don't know what you want to become, if you don't know what you want to do in life, you don't have dreams, you don't have goals, you don't have aspirations, it is time right now, after you get done listening to this podcast, and or you press pause right now and you grab a journal and you start writing out, what do I really fucking want before the end of this lifetime? We are not promised tomorrow, again, cliche to say, but for real, like, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? I wrote this in my journal this morning. Mediocre actions create mediocre results. Do you want to live a mediocre life? And that's fine if you do. Or do you want to live one where you're financially sound, that you're not worrying about money all the time? Do you want to live a life where you are so freaking in love with your partner and they're more in love with you, that you guys just get each other, everything clicks? And when things don't click all the time, because they won't, you have so much safety and trust in the relationship that you can communicate with vulnerability and transparency. And that is what helps grow the two of you. There's no judgment, there's no criticism. It is empowering, encouraging, beautiful, supportive, safe love. You want to launch a business, you want to start a career, you want to do mission work, you want to travel the world. What the hell do you want? What do you guys want? What do you ladies want? Whoever is listening out there. I hope that this is a very empowering podcast episode. It's crazy. This is actually the first time that I've sat on my couch to record a podcast episode, and I'm feeling it. I actually have this little, if you're watching the YouTube video, then you'll be able to see this, but I have my little like blue, it's blue brand microphone. It's like not a wireless thing. It's funny. It's like a little white thing, but it has little legs if you could put it on your desk or whatever. But I usually sit at my desk, but I just want like more homey feel for my podcast. So I was like, I'm going to sit on my couch. But yeah, so let's unpack this. I decided to do a solo episode because I knew that I was not showing up. If I start crying, bear with me. I know that I'm very much the preacher. Like I preach all the time, like let your emotions come, release them, because you need to like actually like express and process your emotions so that they don't get stuck inside of you, because that creates dis-ease in your body. But for the essence of this podcast episode, I want to, I might stuff my emotions a little bit so that I can get through this. Okay. So I've played small, I've held back, and I want to tell you this too. And I want you to use this. So my freaking coach, one of my good friends, her and I connected in 2018, the beginning of 2018. Her name is Erin Nicole Porter. She is on my podcast from the first season from 2021. And I just went through another program with her, actually, the Quantum Ripple Effect Institute. And I think that's, I told her at the very beginning that my intention going through her program was most likely going to be for personal use at first. And of course, if we change personally, if we evolve, when we evolve personally on a personal basis, it's going to ripple effect into every single area of our life. So business, career, relationships, health, financial, and home environment, whatever, environment in general. And it's so true. Like I have learned so much in the 6 months, and obviously that's why it's called the ripple effect, quantum ripple effect, because quantum is a field, and I'm not extremely knowledgeable on this, so I might botch this a little bit, but quantum is like a field. It's an energy field. And I don't know if you've ever heard of quantum leaping, but quantum leaping is like when you act from a place of becoming. So you're like, oh gosh, yeah. So you act from a place of becoming, but you're so fucking grateful for where you're at now. It's like you meet gratitude in the present and your desire in the present moment. And then you start taking actions that align with who you are wanting to become versus who you are now, while still, again, being really fucking grateful for who you are and everything that you've done, and just being so grateful, like so grateful. And you're so in the now that it actually collapses time and you become who you wanted to become faster. That's like what quantum leaping is. Something that you may think will take 10 years to happen and it happens in 5 months. Something like that is a quantum leap. Anyways, this program is called, or institute is called Quantum Ripple Effect Institute, and you get certified in life and success coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, Reiki, emotional freedom technique, tapping. I'm missing something else, I think, but it's amazing. And anyways, it just was very, very helpful. I want to say this, for recognizing, for me anyways, recognizing how to bring awareness to when my nervous system is in fight or flight or freeze mode. And many of us, we are in fight or flight or freeze mode all the time because we are running in burnout. We are running on society and cultural programming of we have to do more to, be more worthy. We have to being in this go, 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 do mentality, it's like the more we do, the more successful we'll be. The more we do, the more money we'll make. The more we do, people will think that we're more worthy of things. They'll look at us with a higher level of achievement. We'll, more status, more put us on a fucking pedestal. Like, fuck the pedestal. So we run in that, though. Many of us do. And I find myself, because I was a chronic hustler for years, just working for the man, working for the dollar, but I know I'm like losing my train of thought. I'm sorry if this episode just like tanked, but I'm coming back around. Okay, here we go. So I'm not going to make this too long of a recording either, because I don't want it to be too long. But 2022, again, I was recognized by going through that program. It just like reinstated a lot of things that I may have already learned and or introduced me to new concepts to help me really understand myself better, so that I could regulate my nervous system, so that I was taking action from a place of safety and peace versus, well, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I should be doing this and I'm supposed to be doing this, because that's where we go. And especially if we're scrolling social media, we may not be thinking consciously that we should be doing this or supposed to be doing this, but unconsciously, as we are consuming that, everything that we're seeing on the scroll, it's going into our subconscious mind and it's creating stories like, you're not good enough. Oh, you don't have that yet. Or you don't, oh, wow, you're already 40 years old and you don't have a child. You don't even have a lover. You should be married by now. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, mother trucker. No. Okay. There's no definition to happiness there's no definition. There's no like status equivalent to like happiness. Like, you're happy because you love yourself. Okay. It all fucking stems back to self-love and self-worth. That's period, end of the story. And being able to hold yourself in safety, recognizing when you were running on autopilot and you were in this burnout and you were do, go, go, go all the time, and recognizing when you were being influenced by social media because you have insomnia or you have anxiety or you have heightened depression all of a sudden, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't even know. Because maybe you've been scrolling, you've been comparing your life to Susie and Tom and Sally and everybody else. So how can you not do that? Right. But anyways, I go on tangents. Y'all know me by now. But 2022, here we go. I'm going to break it down for you. I did accomplish a lot of things. I did. I mean, this was a remarkable year. I landed, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm holding up my magazine, Sense and Style magazine. I landed a cover of a magazine. That is something literally I dreamed about when I was younger. Okay. Like, what? Are you kidding me? So I'm on a cover of a magazine. I spoke on a couple of different panels, like public speaking in front of people. That scares a lot of people. And I'm not going to lie, guys, like public speaking scares me. Like I get super shaky. You may not be able to hear it in my voice, but my entire body trembles when I'm like public speaking. Anyways, but you just do it because you get into this mentality of like your message is more important than your mess, and you just got to roll with it. But I did that. I met some incredible people. I had the opportunity to interview amazing, remarkable people on my podcast. Just meeting people in my physical, like in Atlanta. Like I've had incredible opportunities. I've reconnected with friends. I have, tried to implement more of a work-life balance. I felt like although yes, I do a lot more of what I love to do now, I found myself working a lot again. Like, oh, I got to work more. I got to work more. I got to work more to get this done and do this and do this. And I remember a few years ago, I was doing the same thing and friends were like, oh, you're working too much. Like fucking put your shit down and go live your life, go hang out with your friends. So I was trying to, implement a lot more social time this year. So I was like, and first of all, I'm not going to meet anybody sitting in my house working. So I was trying to get out of my house more. So that was an intention that I'm going to continue to do. And maybe put myself in even different situations though, and try out new experiences so that I am continuing to level up and maybe quantum leap a little bit more. But with all of that said, although I'm celebrating a lot of achievements and accomplishments, and I'm very proud of myself, I am also celebrating the hard times and the struggles and everything that I was dealing with and battling, and yeah, just conflicted with this past year. So the reason why, and again, this is all because of this. I was struggling at the beginning of 2022. It was like months into 2022 when I sent my first email, although, I've been sending out newsletters every single week, with a little spiel, but also, introducing the new podcast episode for the last, six months now. And, but at the beginning of the year, I didn't have that because I was like, oh my God, like the end of 2021, I needed to take a break. I had to pull back from things. I got very caught up in the social media, like trap, I want to say. Yes, I was scrolling. So everything that I just said, like I'm guilty of it. I'm a victim of it as well. Like it was affecting my subconscious so much. Like I was constantly comparing myself to other people. I was constantly just comparing like my engagement, which is so dumb. Like if you're just yourself, ladies, listen, or whoever is listening, like listen up to this. If you're trying to grow on social media, just being yourself is what is going to grow you. Okay. Because there's people that you're going to attract your people. Right? So anyways, I felt like I wasn't truly showing up as myself. I felt like there were certain things that I was, a friend of mine told me this one time. She was like, you're really impressionable, meaning you can be highly influenced. And I was like, fuck, I am. And I noticed that this last year, like I would see someone's reel and I was like, oh my God. I think in my mind, yes, I liked it, but it was also, I'm like, well, that's them. That's how they do something. But because it got X amount of likes or views, I was like, oh, well, people like that. So I need to do it too. Who can relate? Who can relate to that? And again, it could have it's not necessarily a conscious thought. It's a subconscious thought, like an unconscious just action that was taken because I I felt a certain way. And then I took action based on that. And then after, like I told this woman the other day, I was like, yeah, I've been like looking at my Instagram and I'm like, I just like don't love it. Like if I could, I mean, I can do this. I could delete everything off of there, but like, I don't know. Like there's just so much more to me that I'm not showing up as, that I'm not expressing, that I'm not putting out there. And so therefore I look at my Instagram stuff and sometimes I'm like, okay, that feels good. Other times I'm just like, what the fuck did I post? Like, I don't love the pictures. I don't know. There's just been like an awakening happening. But anyway, so I started my podcast not started the podcast, but I relaunched the podcast in July of 2022. And my first episode was Danielle Rule from Love is Blind Season 2. Yes. Love is Blind Season 2. Love her. We talked about mental health and all the things, and I loved it. And I never did a solo episode. And it's because I've been holding back. I've been holding back and playing fucking small and all of that. And I just had a full circle moment. Why I even brought up Erin, my old coach that does the quantum ripple effect, is because she sends out a like weekly newsletter herself. Anyways, this was from her newsletter and I'm going to read it to you. It's just 2 sentences, so bear with me. I will no longer be a best kept secret. I will no longer tiptoe, shrink, or hold myself back. Fucking punch me in the gut. Oh my God. I will no longer be a best kept secret. I literally took those words, put it on like the background on my Instagram story, saved the Instagram story. I didn't show it to the world. I just saved it so it was like a picture in my phone. And then I changed the wallpaper on my phone to that because yes, I will no longer be a best kept secret and none of you should either. 2023 is the year that you like come out of your cocoon and you fucking flap your wings because you are a beautiful butterfly. It is time. Okay. We literally only have one life to live. We're not promised tomorrow. Let's fucking show up. So anyways, I love that. I just literally got that yesterday. Perfect timing. Everything is in divine timing, but I didn't do a solo episode because I think I was so embarrassed and there was like a lot of guilt and shame around the fact that I'm running a mindset coaching business and I am all up in my head. Like, right. And I feel like that's like the imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to talk about this stuff? Who am I to do these things? So I was, having conversations with other people. And of course I was myself and whatever, being myself and being vulnerable and transparent these last 6 months on my podcast if a conversation came up about it, but I was not having this conversation. And this is the conversation that needed to be had. So here I am, solo episode, new year, fucking new me. I'm not playing small anymore. It sucks to play small. There's so much resistance. It's like, ew. But yeah, I'm here. But yeah, I found myself, because I wasn't 100% diving into my coaching, and I wasn't 100% diving into like the influencer world. And I was trying to get my bearings on like public speaking, like how to get into that. I was like learning a lot of things in 2022. And like, that's what I want to celebrate, is the fact that I went through a lot of shit and I learned a lot about myself, and I'm continuing to learn. We never stop learning. If you're not learning, you're like not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. So I have experienced just a lot of hardships with my business this past year. I like, those of you who have actually experienced working with me, you know that I know my shit. I'm on it. Like, I've been studying the mind. I've been studying self-love. I've been studying boundaries, launching a online coaching business. I know how to do that. I've been doing it for fucking almost 10 years, right? Like, I know what to do. I know how to tell you to do it. But we're all human and we all have our own experiences. So there are certain things that I just was allowing because I was choosing these thoughts that were making me play small and holding me back. And not anymore. I just like don't want that anymore, because there's a part of me that wishes, I can't say, like, I know that God has a plan for me. And I know that I'm choosing these things because God wanted me to face these challenges so that I could maybe assist others in these that were experiencing these challenges later on. That's kind of how the coaching and that's how anything works. Like, you go through something, you can teach about it, if you're really become an expert in it. But anyways, but yeah, I went through a lot of like hardships this past year. There's just a lot of like family challenges that I'm enduring, and romantic relationships. I like let go. Y'all heard that podcast episode with Deidre that I got emotional with her. I started crying because I was like, yeah, I had to choose me. I had to choose me and let go of a relationship. And I've known the person for a while, and it just sucked because he was in love with someone else. And like, why I was even a part of something like a love triangle like that, because I was in not a good mental health, not a good mental space for the last year and a half, 2 years. Literally, I said this earlier out loud, and I'm going to say it now too. I think Love is Blind. Love is Blind was the catalyst to my greatest healing journey. But what happens during a healing journey is that you expose yourself to your emotions, because we're all walking around like we don't feel a damn thing, and we're avoiding. And that's why we're in burnout, because we're constantly doing and doing and doing and going and going and going, because we don't want to feel what we need to feel. We don't want to feel it because then we know we got to heal it, and we don't want to fucking go that route because it's fucking painful. And we don't want to relive that pain. So we continue to find ourselves in other pain and hurtful situations because we don't want to deal with the thing that started the pain in the first goddamn place. Right? All right. So where I say this is like, Love is Blind kind of fucked me up because yes, it was a catalyst. Like, I went to my first experience with my mindset coach. She was like a therapist to me, but that is when I started learning all the mindset stuff. And now I'm just so much more, I'm a lot more hyper aware to my feelings and to my thoughts. And when there's resistance and it's hard for me to get out of it sometimes, like, I know the right answer and I know what the right path should be, the right thing that I should do. But then I'm like, no, I still want a human, and I still want to play in fear, and I still want to sit in fear, and I still want to choose that pain. I want to do that pain. But I know that if I just like cut the cord and choose the other thing, I'm going to be living such a more happy, peaceful life. Right. So anyways, I kick myself. I'm just saying this out loud. I know that, like I said, God has a plan for us, but I do kick myself that when Love is Blind aired, that I did not do things career-wise a certain way. But hey, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't be having this conversation with you guys either. Maybe I wouldn't even have a podcast if I did things differently. So who knows? But I wish that I had done a few things differently, but the thing is that I'm still here, I'm still breathing, and I get to do it now. So 2023 may look a little bit different. It may feel different. It's going to feel different for me. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different. And I'm just going to be vibrating higher. So these were those were some really big hardships though, is the fact that I was just like struggling with mental health, like, and social media. Honestly, I think it's been like maybe since the beginning of November that I have pulled back from showing up on Instagram, social media in general, because I know how badly it was affecting my mental health. So I pulled back. I'm doing things a little bit differently, all that. But anyway, so yeah, the romantic relationship, I'm trying to navigate, I guess, trying to understand, is it chemistry or compatibility? And I'm entertaining my friendship. Like, we started talking again. Let's put it that way. Not in a romantic way. But we are having, a real friendship again. And I don't know. Anyways, that's on for another podcast episode, or maybe never, because probably doesn't need to be talked about. Doesn't even need to be a conversation. But a lot of women probably are going through the same thoughts that I've been going through. And so I will probably do a separate episode on relationship stuff. But anyway, so I've just been dealing with that too. But I'm like, 2023, I'm like, buck stops here. Like, if you're not going to choose me, like, then we really do need to keep it strictly friendship, or we got to like go our separate ways. Like, I don't know. So trying to figure it out. But I was dishonoring boundaries over this last year. And back in September, I chose me and it felt good. I was empowered, although it hurt. Like, I was crying. It didn't feel good. So is that family hardships. There's just a lot going on there. And, the bottom line is that I have to choose me. I have to make sure that I am choosing myself, so that I am staying focused, that I am vibrating at a high frequency, because also, you guys, because of the inconsistency with my business, I found myself needing debt once again. Not as much as the last time, but just a couple of $1,000s in debt. And I'm like, fuck, like, shit. Like, I knew I was not going to get myself here. I've done so much work around money mindset. And I've been learning these last 6 months, more or less, around money management, because, you guys, we got to have the mindset and the strategy with everything that we do. That is, if you take anything out of this episode, take that from this episode too, is you have to combine mindset with strategy with everything you do. Just like if you go to work out, there's a strategy with how you pick up a weight and how you lift weights. You have to have the strategy, but you also have the mindset, like, I can do this. I am resilient. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am bold, right? So it's mindset and strategy. You always have to have those together. So it's money mindset plus money management, and you are golden. But anyways, yeah. So I find myself in a little bit of financial debt. That has been so taxing on me. I've find myself in financial depression once fucking again. And it's just it's heartbreaking when you're like, yo, I can't do that because I don't have money to go do it. Or your friends that are aware of your situation feel like they have to pay for you. Or they offer to pay, and you're like, oh, thank you. Like, so grateful for that. But it's also like, but I wish I could pay. I wish I could pay. And, this is the part where I'm saying, like, I wish that I had done something different when Love is Blind first aired, because I don't think I would be experiencing the financial challenges that I've experienced over the last 2 years. So anyways, again, God's got a plan though. So it's all good. And again, maybe I'm here to teach these lessons for other people, as I have too. I have a select handful of clients, and I'm so grateful for every client that I've worked with over the last couple of years. And I apologize to any of my clients too that just think that I'm a basket case sometimes. And I'm like, I'm saying one thing and then maybe doing something different, and I apologize. That is acting out of alignment with who you are. And I don't want to do that. I want to practice. I always want to, my intention is to always try to practice what I preach. But yeah, I have also, because of this is so sad. This is really sad, but because of my financial situation, like I find myself like eating like beans and rice, which is fine. I love beans and rice. I'm like borderline vegetarian, not vegetarian, but like I eat majority plant-based. So I eat beans and rice a lot of times. But like if I had a choice, I may have chosen something else, but like that was the only thing in my house was like beans and rice. Or that's the only thing that I chose to afford one week was like beans and rice and like some kale. So it's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm saying it's crazy because you like would think that, oh, this girl's been on TV. She probably is like making like, she's super successful. She's very wealthy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't know until like people address these things. So I'm sharing it with you because I'm fucking just being courageous right now. And I want y'all to know, like, just because you were on TV or just because X, Y, and Z, or just because what you see on social media, it's a fucking highlight reel. And I try to keep it real. I like keeping things real. Maybe that's why I decided to do this podcast, because I want you all to feel like you're not alone. Because you're not. We all experience very similar experiences, but we all experience the same emotion. So we all have some guilt. We have shame. We have disappointment. We have anger. We have fear, anxiety. We all feel sad at times. We all feel very angry at times. These are emotions we all do experience in a different way. Yeah, perhaps, but we all have felt rejected at some point. The biggest thing is that every time that we're choosing something else, we're not choosing ourselves. And so the biggest thing is that we're fucking rejecting ourselves. And that's why I created that whole program, Rejection to Redemption, y'all, is because it's teaching you how to choose yourself. And again, I know I just said I need to do more practice what I preach. But like the information that I teach inside of Rejection to Redemption is how you get yourself to a better place than you are now. And if you, in 6 months from now, you go back through Rejection to Redemption, the program, you're going to hear something different that applies to your life in that current moment. And you're going to be like, gosh, it's like, I've been studying this for 4 years. And yes, I've been able to create a lot more boundaries in a lot of different ways around relationship, career, business, all that. But there are sometimes I still just choose the past version of myself's path. And that's okay. It's just the fact that I am not ready yet, or I'm not learning the lesson completely, or, there's still some healing that needs to be done. Let's put it that way. There's still some healing that needs to be done, and that's okay too. So I hope to heal for real in 2023 a lot of the wounds that maybe I'm just not really truly addressing. Also, because of the financial stuff, then I just recently got a job. I say got a job. Honestly, I want to say it's like a business opportunity, because I'm doing outside sales. Like, yes, I'm working for a company, but I'm using my mindset coaching skills here to shift the language around that and be like, no, it is a business opportunity. It is an entrepreneur opportunity. I'm doing outside sales. I have to really be cultivating new business opportunities within this company, so that I meet my quota and then I, get paid every month. So, not every month. It's not a commission based. It is a salary plus bonus structure that I'm on, but I'm excited. And the reason why I accepted the job offer was because of the genuineness and support that I felt from my now manager who interviewed me. Like, he was just amazing, like so wonderful. And I was like, oh my God, like this is the type of person that I would want to work for if I went back into like corporate America. And so here we are. But yeah, he's just very empowering. And I just finished my second week at this new career, and I'm not going to stop pursuing my entrepreneurial pursuits. Still doing the podcast, doing social influencing or content creator stuff. I'm going to do public speaking. I'm going to continue with my coaching in certain ways. I mean, obviously I have to put a lot of focus on my new career right now and the business opportunities and the business relationships that are going to come from that. Because it is going to take a lot of my energy out. And that's a beautiful thing about like the entrepreneurial space is like, you do have to, in any space, relationships in general, you have to, be aware of your energy and protect your energy and not get caught back up in that do, go mentality. So I am in the process of strategizing exactly how I want to run my business in 2023 as I kick off with this new company. And so, I have the digital course. I'll probably be launching digital courses or rejection to redemption digital course, so that you guys have that, and maybe some one-on-one coaching, but that's a lot of energy and, additional time. So, and I still want to implement that work-life balance, in the social life, and maybe trying to go on dates. So, I know that it needed to happen this way. And I know that there's probably relationships that, there's so many lessons that I'm going to learn from this new career and so I'm really excited about it. And, getting my bank account, secure and stable again, and really managing my money this time, as well as, implementing all the money mindset tools and practices. I do still do this. I have money dates every, on the 10th and 25th of every month. I just go into my account, I look at everything, I give it all gratitude, the things coming in, the things going out. And it's a beautiful practice to implement so that you are creating more of a secure relationship with your money. And because that's a beautiful relationship to cultivate, is a relationship with your money, because money loves you. Money's always here for you. We just got to create the opportunities for ourselves to receive it, and not resist it. I was resisting. I did a lot of things to resist money from coming in. So anyway, so yeah, hardships with family, hardships with romantic partners, financially struggling, resisting getting a new job, like going into corporate because it made me feel like I was failing in my business. And that's not the case. I've worked with people all year long. It's just, we all get this idea. And again, this probably comes from social media. We all get this idea of like what success means. And I've done work around defining success as well. But sometimes we just got to have like a helpful reminder, like, running a quote unquote successful business to one person is completely different than what success looks like for someone else. Running a successful business for one person may be having a team of 30 people or 500 people, having a multi-million-dollar business or a multiple six-figure business. And success for another person could be making $45,000 a year, having no team members or one person that works for them, just helping them with some little things here and there. But they're totally happy with the $45,000 that they make. And they have a few clients here and there. That's okay. That's okay. Everything is okay. Right? So now, anyways, okay, I didn't get emotional. I didn't get as emotional as I thought I was. And it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Maybe if you all were sitting in front of me, I probably would have cried. But thank you for listening. I thought that this episode was going to be short, and it wasn't. And, but I just had, this is what happens when you suppress yourself and you aren't like, explosion of emotions. I think I'm going to write a book about that. Explosion of emotions. You have an explosion of emotions. And that's I just wanted to share so much with you all because you've been such avid listeners. Again, maybe this is the first time that you're listening to my podcast. And if you loved it, please go back and listen to all the rest of the episodes. But if you've been here for a while, I sincerely appreciate you. I really, you guys don't even know how much I appreciate you listening, sharing the episodes, tuning in each week. And, I would love to hear from you if you have any ideas, as far as maybe what you think I'm really good about talking about and you'd like to hear more of it. Whether that's a solo episode or getting more guests that are aligned with that topic on the podcast, I would love to do that. So please send me an email. It's chaselifewithkelly@gmail.com, or obviously you can reach out to me on Instagram at chaselifewithkelly also. Oh, and I started a podcast account for this podcast. So it's Chase Life with Kelly podcast on Instagram. Please go there, check it out. And please share, download the episode. The more that this episode is downloaded and shared, and obviously rated and reviewed, the more my ratings go up and we can have more of these amazing conversations. I mean, they're not going to stop, but I want to start hitting, like, I want to start like capitalizing, like maxing out on this freaking podcast. Like, again, I'm not going to shrink myself anymore. And it's time to like really freaking show up. So that's what I'm here to do. And there may have been more things that I wanted to share with you in this episode, but now I forgot. And, but I'm really grateful for you. I hope, that we can go into 2023 with just the intention of choosing us, and anything that doesn't serve us, we have to endure the pain, the temporary pain of what it's going to be like letting that something go. If in the event it is like, oh gosh, like, but I want it in my life, whether it's a person, a thing, whatever. And it's like, God, I just don't want to let it go. It's going to be so sad. I don't want to let it go. But know that for your highest self, that it's better if that something is not as involved in your life. So I don't know. Maybe that's a job. Maybe it's time to make a career transition or pivot into something that's going to light you up more. Launch the business, launch the podcast, launch the nonprofit organization, go start a passion project, go take a cooking class, go on a date, get out of your house, talk to people, read a new personal development book, or read a personal development book if you've never read one before. Always reach out to me. Like, I'm a very, very valuable resource for things, and I am pretty good about, responding to my DM. So yeah. Anyways, I'm sending y'all so much love. Happy New Year. I hope you had wonderful holidays, and cheers to 2023. It's going to be an amazing year. So claim it for yourself. Claim it for yourself. It is time to shine. We're all going to do it. And remember what I said. You will no longer be a best kept secret. Say this again. I will no longer be a best kept secret. I will no longer tiptoe, shrink, or hold myself back. You will no longer be a best kept secret. I will no longer be a best kept secret. I will no longer be a best kept secret. Go shine. 2023 is your year. I love y'all so much. And catch you next time. Bye. If you loved this episode, please download, share, rate, and review. If you are ready to step into that next level version of you and grow your business and bank account, it's time to unleash your goddess magic and chase life with Kelly. You can start this epic expansion journey by diving into the Goddess Magic course bundle found at chaselifetogether.com. Please connect with me on Instagram at Chase Life with Kelly. Join the Chase Life with Kelly Facebook community and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time, create the life you crave, babe, and chase life with Kelly.